I'm making cheesy sauce. And this is a single batch. It calls for 2 cups of water. So I put 1 cup of water in the saucepan to start it boiling. And then I put the other cup in the blender, a Vitamix. And we're going to blend up all the other ingredients. And then we're going to pour them into the boiling water. And as soon as it comes to a boil, it's ready. So it's a lot quicker to have some boiling water to pour it into, because otherwise you can have a whole big pot of something and you have to stir it and stir it. But this way it's really quick. Okay, so we are going to put in 1/4 of a cup of cashews. And so this is actually a really low fat, low calorie cheese relative to dairy cheese or to most, faux cheeses, because it only has 1/4 of a cup of cashews and it makes like 2.5 cups of cheesy sauce. So not a bad deal. And then to make it taste cheesy, we have nutritional yeast. I put in 1/4 of a cup of that. And then we put in onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. A teaspoon of onion powder. A teaspoon of salt. And you could put in less, but usually this is a topping on something, and so the whole thing needs a little salt. And then 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And we want to make this look like a cheddar cheese type of sauce, so I'm going to put in some roasted red bell pepper. And this is just from the jar, and the reason it looks frozen is because I freeze it in between uses so that it will last.
How much do you think you put in there?
It really depends upon the color of, some of these are really dark red, some of them are lighter orange, and so you just go by looks. So after I blend it up, if I want it more orange, I'll add more. If you put too much in, it looks like plastic.
It's kind of neon color.
Right. And so to thicken it, we're going to have 3 tablespoons of arrowroot, or you can use cornstarch. And so since this is the thickener, if you want it to be thicker, you put in more. If you want it to not be so thick, you put in less. But this is kind of a pretty good medium of the road.
The middle way.
Middle way, yeah. Right.
What is arrowroot?
Arrowroot is the root of a plant called arrowroot.
Used as a thickener.
Used as a thickener, and it's less processed than cornstarch.
And I don't know if you realize this, Ellen, but the recipe I gave you yesterday has the cheesy sauce on it.
Okay, and this is a tablespoon of lemon juice to just kind of bring a little bit of tanginess to it. It's not very tangy, and if you want to, you can add things like jalapenos or things to, spice it up a little bit. So anyway, we're going to blend this and get it nice and completely blended, and then pour it into our water, which should be boiling by then. Definitely want the nuts to be thoroughly blended because you don't want chunks of nuts in there. Is that boiling yet?
It's not boiling yet.
Okay, well, we'll just turn it up a little bit more. That doesn't heat up as fast unless you really turn it up.
Does it matter whether you use nutritional yeast powder or flakes?
They're the same product, it's just that they measure differently. So this is the large flake. And then the other, they call the other small flake or powder. And so it's like 1/4 of a cup of this would only be like 2 tablespoons of the powder. And this disperses easier, so it doesn't you don't get a clump of it that doesn't want to. So I always prefer this.
That's good to know because I've been using the other kind.
And it's the same product, it tastes the same. It's just that it's not gonna. Okay, so this is boiling. We're gonna pour this in and stir it as it cooks, and it will be ready in a jiffy. And all it has to do is come to a boil and it's ready. And so it'll be a pourable type of sauce right now. And then with whatever's left over, we put it in the refrigerator, and then it'll congeal. And it'll be completely, but it's not like a sliceable cheese, but it's very much of a spreadable cheese. And if you want it to be a sauce again, then you heat it up and stir in a little bit more water, and then you have sauce again. That doesn't freeze well, but it lasts in the refrigerator for, you know, close to a week anyway. And it's really good. You can have it on pasta, you can have it on vegetables. It's wonderful over broccoli, cauliflower. We're going to have it over chili tonight.
It's thickening up nicely, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can even spread it
Look at
on
that.
bread in a sandwich after it's been in the refrigerator and it's cold. Then it gets thick, and so you can just kind of spread it on your bread.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
So, would you like
That
a
looks
taste?
just like Velveeta. I would love a taste. You know, cheese is my thing.
Well, this is going to be your thing now.
Mmm. That's amazing. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I can't wait to have that for dinner.